We're live from New Delhi. You're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Lipakshi Khurana. Coming up in the next hour. Conflict in West Asia escalates. Iran launches around 200 missiles towards Israel. Netanyahu vows retaliation.
We will keep to the rule we have determined. Whoever attacks us, we attack them.
World leaders condemn Iranian missile strikes on Israel, call for de-escalation of conflict. India's External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar holds talks with US counterpart Antony Blinken in Washington. Talks focus on deepening bilateral ties, West Asia situation and global challenges. India's cleanliness drive, Swachh Bharat Mission completes 10 years. PM Modi to launch and lay the foundation stone of several projects to mark the occasion. International Day of Non-Violence being observed on the occasion of birth anniversary of Mahatma Gandhi. Well, on to the top story. The prospect of a direct all-out war between two of the most powerful militaries in the West Asia became more likely after Iran fired roughly 200 ballistic missiles at Israel, drawing strong reaction from Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, who said Iran made a big mistake and will pay for it. Israel's military signaled it would retaliate, though it didn't provide details of how or when it would respond. The Pentagon said that Israel intercepted the majority of the missiles and that there was minimal damage on the ground. Washington said it would work with longtime ally Israel to make sure Iran faced severe consequences for Tuesday's attack. The escalation comes days after Israel killed the leader of Iran-backed Hezbollah and sent troops into Lebanon.
Iran made a big mistake tonight, and it will pay for it. The regime in Iran does not understand our determination to defend ourselves and our determination to retaliate against our enemies. Sinwar and Deif didn't understand it. Nasrallah and Mosul didn't understand it. Apparently, there are those in Tehran who do not understand this either. They will understand. We will keep to the rule we have determined. Whoever attacks us, we attack them.
Well, Iran, which promised a crushing response if Israel retaliated, cancelled flights across the country until mid-morning on Wednesday. Iran's Armed Forces Chief of Staff, Major General Mohammad Bagheri, has threatened to repeat Tehran's attack against Israel and target its infrastructure. Speaking on state TV, Bagheri said the operation would be repeated several times stronger if Israel retaliated.
If the Zionist regime that has gone crazy is not controlled by America and Europe and wants to continue these crimes or wants to do anything against our sovereignty and territorial integrity, tonight's operation will be repeated several times stronger and all their infrastructure will be targeted.
Meanwhile, United Nations Security Council has called an emergency meeting on Middle East on Wednesday at around 1400 GMT, and the European Union called for an immediate ceasefire. In a letter to the Council, Israel's envoy to the UN, Danny Danon, accused Iran of trying to destroy Israel with a ring of fire from 7 fronts. Danon urged the Security Council to condemn the move and designate Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, or IRGC, as a terrorist organization. Well, the United States stands strong with Tel Aviv after Tehran fired a salvo of ballistic missiles at Israel on Tuesday. U.S. President Joe Biden has reaffirmed his country's support for Israel and described the barrage as defeated and ineffective, and ordering the U.S. military to aid Israel's defense against any future assaults.
The United States military actively supported the defense of Israel, and we're still assessing the impact. But based on what we know now, the attack appears to have been defeated and ineffective. And this is testament to Israeli military capability and the U.S. military. It's also a testament to intensive planning between the United States and Israel to anticipate and defend against the brazen attack we expected. Make no mistake, the United States is fully supportive of Israel.
U.S. Vice President and Democratic presidential candidate Kamala Harris called Iran as a dangerous and destabilizing force in the Middle East.
I condemn this attack unequivocally. I'm clear-eyed. Iran is a destabilizing, dangerous force in the Middle East, and today's attack on Israel only further demonstrates that fact.
Well, U.S. called on every nation in the world to join it in condemning Iran's attack on Israel.
Israel, with direct assistance from the United States and its partners, was able to successfully defeat this attack. This was a brazen, unacceptable attack by Iran, and every nation in the world must join us in condemning it.
Well, British Prime Minister Keir Starmer said Britain stands with Israel after Iran launched a wave of missiles in retaliation for Israel's incursion into Lebanon.
I utterly condemn this attempt by the Iranian regime to harm innocent Israelis. We stand with Israel and we recognise her right to self-defence in the face of this aggression. Iran must stop these attacks, together with its proxies like Hezbollah. Iran has menaced the Middle East for far too long.
Meanwhile, in a phone call with U.S. President Joe Biden, Japan's new Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba said that missile attacks by Iran on Israel were unacceptable and warned against an escalation into full-on war. French President Emmanuel Macron also said he strongly condemns Iran's new attacks on Israel, adding that in a sign of its commitment to Israel's security, it has mobilized its military resources in the Middle East on Wednesday. Also, United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres appealed on Tuesday for an immediate ceasefire in Lebanon and for the sovereignty and territorial integrity of the country to be respected. Also, India's External Affairs Minister, Dr. S. Shankar, expressed deep concerns about the broadening conflicts in the West Asia and anything that happens between Iran and Israel. And now a quick update on Russia-Ukraine conflict, where Russian troops have reached the center of Vuhledar, a bastion on strategic high ground in eastern Ukraine, on Tuesday. A footage posted on social media showed Russian soldiers waving a flag from atop a bombed-out multi-story building and unfurling another flag on a metal spire on a roof. Smoke was rising over the ruins of the small mining town. The regional governor of Ukraine's Donetsk region, Vadim Filinskin, said the situation is very difficult. Russian forces reached the outskirts of Vuhledar last week and intensified in recent days. Vuhledar has strategic significance because of its high ground and its location near the junction of the two main fronts. And U.S. Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump held a campaign rally in Wisconsin on Tuesday. Trump promised to bring peace in the world if he wins November 5th presidential election. Trump slammed his Democratic opponent Kamala Harris and said if she gets 4 more years, the world goes up in smoke. Trump did not make new announcements regarding policy proposals, but rather highlighted plans previously outlined.
If I win, we will have peace in the world again. I guarantee we will have peace in the world again. And if Kamala gets 4 more, unthinkable, right? If she gets 4 more years, the world goes up in smoke. This world will go up in smoke. If Kamala Harris gets 4 more years, instead of a golden age, America will be condemned to a fate of decline, desperation, and despair. That's where we are right now. Your family finances will be permanently destroyed. Your borders will be gone forever. Tens of millions more illegal aliens will invade our cities and towns.
Well, British Prime Minister Keir Starmer will travel to Brussels on Wednesday to hold talks with European Union leaders about putting the Brexit years behind us and bolstering ties with the UK. The Prime Minister has vowed to reset relations with Europe following tensions between the previous Tory government and the EU, though his government won't seek wholesale negotiation of the Brexit deal that took Britain out of the bloc. But he's seeking to tweak the relationship in a range of areas. The European Union shares his desire for a joint security pact as well as tackling barriers to trade. Starmer has already visited Berlin, Paris, Rome and Dublin since the election to lay the groundwork for a reset in ties. Apart from von der Leyen, Starmer will also hold talks with European Council President Charles Michel and President of the European Parliament Roberta Metsola on Wednesday. And Claudia Sheinbaum made history being sworn in as Mexico's first woman president. Sheinbaum was inaugurated at a ceremony in Mexico's Congress for a 6-year term lasting until 2030. Sheinbaum took the oath of office and received the presidential sash in a boisterous ceremony, which marks the start of a 6-year term. Sheinbaum used her first speech as head of state to address investor concerns after the passing of a judicial reform pushed by her predecessor, Andrés Manuel López Obrador. Sheinbaum vowed to ensure that Mexico's economy remains a secure destination for international investment. She reiterated the central bank would be autonomous and that a reasonable debt-to-GDP ratio would be maintained. Sheinbaum's government will present its first budget before 15th of November. Meanwhile, Sheinbaum received the baton of power from Mexican indigenous and Afro-Mexican women on Tuesday during her inauguration as the first female president of North America. As part of the ceremony, Sheinbaum participated in ancestral rituals. The ritual meant to cleanse, purify and invoke the protection of natural forces before being handed the symbolic baton. It represents the political and spiritual connection between the government and indigenous and Afro-Mexican communities. The event took place in front of a large crowd at Zocalo Square next to the National Palace, where Sheinbaum pledged to reside during her 6-year term. And judiciary workers took to the streets to protest the judiciary reform recently approved by the Mexican Congress on Sheinbaum's inauguration. Parallel marches outside the Congress building drew university students and workers of the judiciary to demand a dialogue with the new president. A controversial judicial reform proposed by outgoing López Obrador, under which judges will be elected by popular vote, was passed in Congress in September, prompting internal and international criticism. López Obrador's popularity helped usher Sheinbaum to a landslide victory in the June elections. An update on Hurricane Helene now. Hurricane Helene's death toll has surpassed 100 and hundreds of people have been reported missing as rescue workers searched for survivors across North Carolina. The death toll is expected to rise once rescue teams reach isolated towns and telecommunications are restored to affected areas. But more than 1.4 million energy customers are still in the dark. Hundreds of roads were closed and thousands of people have registered for U.S. Federal Emergency Management Agency assistance. Helene made landfall in Florida on Thursday as a powerful Category 4 storm. Governor Roy Cooper conducted an aerial tour of the hardest-hit areas. He also visited Mission Hospital in Asheville and met with organizations and people helping meet the need of those affected by the storm. Cooper said that the damage from Hurricane Helene was extensive and devastating. Cooper said the National Guard and emergency workers from 19 states have been deployed to help. Meanwhile, U.S. President Joe Biden said he would visit North Carolina on Wednesday and Georgia and Florida soon after. He may also ask the U.S. Congress to return to Washington for a special session to pass supplemental aid funding. Biden said the devastation left behind by Helene is the worst ever, and the process of rebuilding the hard-hit area will take years and likely cost billions of dollars.
I've been in frequent contact with the governors and other leaders in the impacted areas. And we have to jumpstart this recovery process. People are scared to death. People wonder whether they're going to make it. We still haven't heard from a whole lot of people. This is urgent. People have to know how to get the information they need. This is a storm of historic proportion. Nothing like this has happened in the region since the turn of the 20th century. I think the last was 1914, 1916, in that range.
Well, while in Taiwan, schools, offices and financial markets were closed ahead of the arrival of a weakening typhoon Krathon on Wednesday, the typhoon is likely to bring storm surges along the coast and torrential rain. The government has also issued an advisory asking people in the key port city of Kaohsiung to stay at home and away from the sea, rivers and mountains. All cities and counties in Taiwan have declared a day off. Domestic flights have been cancelled for the day along with dozens of international ones. And time now for a short break. We'll be back in a while.
Geopolitics and trade deals. Economic challenges amid development. Hard work and the path to prosperity. It's the economy, always. Between walkers, money is what money does and says. Supply creates its own demand. Between the bulls pulls and bears tears. When supply chains globalization and India rises to the podium. We'll get you centered with the economic brief at 8 p.m. every Thursday on DD India.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India Live. I'm Lipakshi Kurala, and moving on. Japan's newly elected Prime Minister took office on Tuesday and formed a cabinet made up of numerous security and defense experts. Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba pledged political reform and said he would seek a deeper ties with friendly nations. Earlier on Sunday, Ishiba announced his plan to call a snap election in Japan on October 27th. More in this report.
Japan's parliament on Tuesday formally selected Shigeru Ishiba as the country's new prime minister after he beat arch-nationalist Sanae Takaichi. Ishiba was chosen as the leader of the Liberal Democratic Party on Friday to replace Fumio Kishida. Kishida had announced his resignation at the end of a 3-year tenure in August after his government was dogged by scandals. On Monday, Ishiba announced a snap election.
I want this cabinet to be trusted by the people and empathize with the people. Politics for the people means beyond all things. We need to make sure all citizens understand and resonate with our efforts. I want to pursue such a politics that can be trusted and understood.
After being elected as the Prime Minister, Ishiba unveiled his cabinet. He appointed former Defence Chief Takaishi Awaya as Foreign Minister, while General Nakatani is appointed as Defence Minister. These appointments underscored his emphasis on defence and security policies. Katsunobu Kato is appointed as the Finance Minister, and Yoshimasa Hayashi will stay on as the Chief Cabinet Secretary. India's External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar congratulated Takashi Iwaya on being appointed as the Foreign Minister of Japan. Former Defence Minister Ishiba will focus on his diplomacy with closest ally the United States, as he repeatedly called for a more balanced relationship with Washington.
We build on the US-Japan alliance and expand connection with like-minded countries. By enhancing both diplomatic and defense capabilities, we will maintain peace in the country and stability in the region.
Nerves are also running high over China's increasingly aggressive moves in the Indo-Pacific region. Earlier, he proposed an Asian version of the collective security group NATO to deter China and counter North Korea's missiles tests. At the same time, Ishiba will have to face some challenges at home. First, he has to quell simmering anger over rising living costs and a sluggish economy. Second, Japan has the world's oldest population, so he will aim to raise the low birth rate. Japan is also targeting carbon neutrality by 2050, and Ishiba wants to boost the use of renewables to fuel resource-weak Japan. Aman Kumar Himanshu's report, DD India.
Moving on, India and Jamaica witnessed a groundbreaking moment as Prime Minister Andrew Holness holds first bilateral visit to India by Jamaican Prime Minister. The visit is set to strengthen ties between the two nations, expanding cooperation in multiple sectors. Our next report tells you more.
India and Jamaica have traditionally enjoyed cordial and friendly relations based on common linkages of history, parliamentary democracy, membership of the Commonwealth, as well as love of cricket. The diplomatic ties between India and Jamaica are flourishing since 1962. India-Jamaica ties have even got stronger now with Prime Minister Andrew Holness' visit to India. This is the first ever bilateral visit by a Jamaican Prime Minister to India. Emphasizing the importance of Jamaican PM's visit, India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi stated that India is ready to share its experience with Jamaica.
आज पहली बार जमैका के प्रधानमंत्री की भारत की द्विपक्षीय यात्रा पर आए हैं, इसलिए हम इस यात्रा को विशेष महत्व देते हैं। प्रधानमंत्री होलनेस लंबे समय से भारत के मित्र रहे हैं। मुझे कई बार उनसे मिलने का अवसर मिला है और हर बार मैंने उनके विचारों में भारत के साथ संबंधों को मजबूत करने की प्रतिबद्धता को महसूस किया है।
PM Modi emphasized that the relations between India and Jamaica are based on 4 C's: culture, cricket, Commonwealth and CARICOM.
4 C's हमारे संबंधों को अंकित करते हैं: कल्चर, क्रिकेट, कॉमनवेल्थ और कैरिकॉम। आज की बैठक में हमने सभी क्षेत्रों में अपना सहयोग सुदृढ़ करने पर विचार किया और कई नए इनिशिएटिव्स की पहचान की।
While lavishing praise on Indian community residing in Jamaica, PM Modi said that people of Indian origin who consider Jamaica as their home are a living example of our cultural heritage.
लगभग 180 वर्ष पहले भारत से जो लोग जमैका गए थे, उन्होंने हमारे पीपल टू पीपल टैग की मजबूत नींव रखी थी। आज जमैका को अपना घर मानने वाले लगभग 70,000 भारतीय मूल के लोग हमारी साझा विरासत का प्रत्यक्ष उदाहरण है।
PM Holness thanked India for its support for providing vaccines during the COVID-19 pandemic.
I must convey on behalf of the government and people of Jamaica our sincere gratitude to the government and people of India for the tremendous support provided to us during our time of need as part of your vaccine friendship scheme. We are immensely grateful that we could count on India as a true friend and partner.
Both the nations signed 4 agreements during the bilateral meeting. These are MOU in the field of sharing successful digital public infrastructure aimed at promoting financial inclusion and social and economic transformation. MOU on e-payments between NPCI International Payments Limited and eGov Jamaica Limited. MOU on cultural exchange program between India and Jamaica for 2024-2029. MOU on cooperation in sports. India was one of the first countries to recognize Jamaica after it became an independent nation. Both countries are members of multilateral and international organizations like NAM, G77, WIPO, UN and its various subsidiary bodies. Bureau Report, DD India.
Well, India is paying homage to the father of the nation, Mahatma Gandhi, on his 155th birth anniversary today. A series of functions are being organized across the country and by Indian missions abroad. The day also observes as the International Day of Non-Violence worldwide. Designated by the United Nations in 2007, this day serves as a reminder of the immense power of non-violence and its potential to resolve conflicts, upholds justice and create lasting peace. Gandhi's philosophy, rooted in ahimsa or non-violence and satyagraha, that is truth force, continues to resonate in a world plagued by war and violence. And India's cleanliness drive Swachh Bharat Mission completes 10 years today. Initiated in 2014 by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, the mission is one of the most significant mass movements for cleanliness. PM Modi will launch and lay the foundation stone for several projects related to sanitation and cleanliness to mark the occasion.
At the landmark event of Swachh Bharat Divas 2024, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will launch and lay the foundation stone for several sanitation and cleanliness projects. These projects collectively worth over $960 million. It includes initiatives under Amrut and Amrut 2.0, the National Mission for Clean Ganga and the Govardhan Scheme.
मोदी जी का सपना है, उनका एक टारगेट भी है कि विकसित भारत बनाना है। विकसित भारत के सपने को साकार करने के साथ साथ देश में स्वच्छता का भी संदेश जाना चाहिए। इसीलिए स्वाभाविक रूप से ये कार्यक्रम 10 साल जब पूर्ण करने के समय पर एक बहुत अच्छे माहौल के साथ जो अपनी पूर्णता की ओर जा रहा है। अभी तो काम करना बाकी है, बहुत सा काम हुआ है। उस काम में क्वालिटी में भी हम और सुधार हो जाए और टेक्नोलॉजी का उपयोग हो जाए, उसके लिए हम सब कोशिश कर रहे हैं।
Among these, over $680 million will go towards improving urban water and sewage systems under Amrut and Amrut 2.0. Additionally, $155 million will be dedicated to enhancing water quality and waste management in Ganga basin areas. As part of the National Mission for Clean Ganga, the Prime Minister will also inaugurate 15 compressed biogas plants, projects worth approximately $133 million under the Govardhan Scheme, all aimed at boosting sanitation and clean energy initiatives.
Sanitation started as a journey towards becoming open defecation free. There is very significant change that has happened in people's behavior and in a sustainable manner. The emphasis is on overall solid and liquid waste management. A lot of work is going into proper management of fecal sludge at treatment facilities, STPs, FSTPs, etc.
The Swachh Bharat program will highlight India's decade-long achievements in sanitation and cleanliness, as well as the outcomes of the recent Swachhta Hi Seva campaign. This year's theme, Swabhav Swachhta, Sanskar Swachhta, continues to resonate with millions across the country, emphasizing both personal responsibility and cultural values in maintaining cleanliness. With these new projects and an unwavering commitment to cleanliness, India is setting the stage for the next phase of Swachh Bharat Mission, ensuring that the movement continues to thrive and inspire. Kriti Vadhera's report for DD India.
And still to come in this edition of DD India Live. India's Commerce and Industry Minister Piyush Goyal to co-chair the India-US CEO Forum in Washington. Indian cricket team continues to maintain top position on the World Test Championship standings.
Geopolitics and trade deals. Economic challenges amid development. Hard work and the path to prosperity. It's the economy.
And now let's take you to Rajghat in New Delhi. President of India Draupadi Murmu, Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar and Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be paying floral tributes to the father of the nation, Mahatma Gandhi, on his 155th birth anniversary today. A Sarva Dharma Pratna Sabha is also being organized at the Rajghat. Prime Minister Narendra Modi at the Rajghat to pay floral tribute to the father of the nation, Mahatma Gandhi, on the occasion of 155th birth anniversary of the Mahatma, the father of the nation. This day is also celebrated as the International Day of Non-Violence. Mahatma Gandhi, the father of the nation, dedicated his life to the freedom of the nation and advocated for the path of peace, truth and non-violence. Gandhi Jayanti today, 2nd of October, the birth anniversary of the father of the nation, and Prime Minister there at Rajghat to pay floral tributes to the father of the nation. The day marks the birth anniversary of Mahatma Gandhi, who was a political ethicist, nationalist and a lawyer.
एक बहाई प्रार्थना एकता के लिए। एक कर दे हृदय अपने सेवकों की प्रभु, एक कर दे हृदय अपने सेवकों की हे प्रभु। दृढ़ रही तेरे नियम पर, तेरी शिक्षा पर चले, बन सहायक शक्ति देवे तेरी एक कर दे हृदय अपने सेवकों की हे प्रभु पथ प्रदर्शन कर पगों का ज्ञान की दे संपदा छोड़ मत उन पर उन्हें रक्षित रहें तुझसे सदा कर प्रफुल्लित हृदय रख दे वरद हस्त स्नेह का है तू ही उनका सहायक और स्वामी सर्वदा एक कर दे हृदय अपने सेवकों की हे प्रभु
तो आप देख रहे थे नई दिल्ली से
And we were watching live from Rajghat, where Prime Minister paid floral tributes to the father of the nation, Mahatma Gandhi, as Gandhi Jayanti today. And moving on, India's External Affairs Minister, Dr. S. Jaishankar, met U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken in Washington, D.C. During the meeting, both the leaders discussed ways to work together to address regional and global challenges. During the meeting, Blinken reaffirmed that the warmth and ambition in the India-US relationship are at an unprecedented level.
Let me begin by thanking you for a great meeting between the Prime Minister and the President in Delaware, for a very, very good Quad meeting. I think it gave us an opportunity to take stock of the many areas where that mechanism has progressed. And I look forward to my discussions today. I think on the bilateral side, there's a lot that we've done since our last meeting, but there are global issues to discuss.
India plays on the global stage, working for peace, working for stability. It's a good opportunity for us to take stock of the many issues that we're working together.
And India's Commerce and Industry Minister Piyush Goyal, who is on U.S. visit, attended the U.S.-India Strategic Partnership Forum in Washington. Addressing the forum, the minister highlighted the strong trade and investment ties between India and the U.S. and said under the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, India's economic growth offers unparalleled opportunities for global investors.
With the U.S., I think India today shares probably the best relationship that we've ever had between US and India since independence. Collectively, we are working on so many projects together that this natural partnership between two important democracies, where the rule of law prevails over everything else, in a way gives us an opportunity to aspire and think big in the future in all our businesses, working in, say, the US and India. We offer an opportunity for businesses. Let's together make further progress in this relationship.
Well, earlier, Piyush Goyal met with the Global Asset Management Group of the Janus Henderson investors. They discussed potential collaboration to strengthen and diversify their presence in India across sectors like food processing, textiles, infrastructure, renewable energy and critical minerals, all poised for significant growth with robust support from the Modi government. He also had an engaging meeting with the founder, chairman and CEO of the leading global digital infrastructure firm, Tillman Global Holdings. Piyush Goyal told Sanjeev Ahuja that India's world-class digital infrastructure offers exciting investment opportunities, including in sustainable data centers. He added that with its skilled talent pool, we are nurturing innovation and enterprise to position India as a leader in green technology and capabilities. And now we'll taking you live where Prime Minister is going to Rajghat now to pay homage to Lal Bahadur Shastri, India's second Prime Minister, who was a leader who embodied integrity, honesty and humility. Lal Bahadur Shastri left behind a legacy that continues to inspire still. He was born in Uttar Pradesh and he shared his birthday with the father of the nation, Mahatma Gandhi, and was deeply influenced also by his ideals. Prime Minister there at Rajghat paying tribute to the second Prime Minister of India, Lal Bahadur Shastri.
दुष्ट दुशासन विमल द्रौपदी दुष्ट दुशासन विमल द्रौपदी चीर उतार कुमंतर प्रेरो दुष्ट दुशासन विमल द्रौपदी चीर.
We were watching live from Rajghat, where Prime Minister was paying homage to the second Prime Minister of India, Lal Bahadur Shastri, whose iconic slogan, Jai Kisan, Jai Jawan, was famous during the 1964 war from Pakistan. And moving on, former US Treasury Secretary Lawrence Summers says India's economic future is very bright thanks to the fastest pace of growth momentum witnessed in the last 10 years. Summers, who is President Emeritus of Harvard University, was at the Delhi School of Economics, where our correspondent Mark Lynn caught up with him briefly in the corridor. He paints a bright picture for India's youthful population, who can look forward to career spans of at least 50 years, during which time he predicts India's economy will grow 30 times. Let's listen in.
Professor Lawrence Summers is President Emeritus at Harvard University. He's been a chief economist at the World Bank. He served as the Treasury Secretary in the Clinton administration. He was also an economic advisor to the Obama administration. We are very privileged to catch up with him here at the Delhi School of Economics. Let's turn to him now. Professor Summers, you said that India could grow by, sixfold and then by 2047. What would be driving this growth?
The greater productive capacity that comes from capital accumulation, the application of ever more sophisticated technology, particularly information technology, and a labor force that's becoming increasingly skilled and capable in meeting the needs of the global economy.
How would you view the last 10 years of the government of India and the reforms that have been brought around?
I think it's been an extraordinarily strong period for India. It's been certainly probably the fastest decade of growth in Indian economic history. I think the greatest successes have been of energizing the economy with major public projects of various kinds. I think it's going to be important going forward to think about the tax and regulatory
obstacles that hold back individual and corporate initiative and to think about the process of economic reform.
You say that, India is a young country, and you were just talking about how the career span of the future is going to be about 50 years. So what do you think? I mean, what message are you giving to the young people of India?
I think that they're alive and launching on their careers at an extraordinarily exciting time. If India is able to grow at 7% a year for the next 5 decades, that would be an extraordinary thing in which the economy would grow more than 30 times over people's lifespans. And at the end of it, India would be very substantially richer than my country is today. And that would be a stunning achievement for a nation and bring stunning benefits to all its people.
Professor Summers, thank you very much for talking to us here in DNA. Thank you, sir.
And around the world on sale, and that too only to women with no outside support. Yes, you heard it right. Continuing with the celebration of maritime skill and adventure, 2 Indian Navy women officers are all set to conquer the rough waters of the world in 8 months. Lieutenant Commander Rupa A. and Lieutenant Commander Dilna K. would be embarking on the extraordinary expedition of circumnavigating the globe. Navika Sagar Parikrama 2 on board INSV Tarini. The duo have been preparing themselves for this expedition for the last 3 years. DD India correspondent Vishal Baristo reports for more from Goa on this.
I'm in the Arabian Sea. This is INSV Tarini, and it is all set to circumnavigate across the globe. And the 2 very brave and adventurous lady officers from Indian Navy, they are all set to take this boat across all the rough waters of the world. I have with me Lieutenant Commander Rupa and Lieutenant Commander Dilna. So how much preparations have gone in for this big day?
So we've been preparing for the last 3 years, and we've done various preparatory ocean sorties, including transatlantic sorties and transoceanic sorties. So we have planned this voyage with 4 stopovers, and during the stopovers our main goal is to prepare the boat for the next voyage and to load up with the fresh rations and fresh water.
So we'll be stopping in Fremantle, which is in Australia. The next stop will be in Littleton, which is in New Zealand. And third one will be in Port Stanley, which is in South America. And the 4th stop will be in Cape Town, which is in South Africa.
So how challenging would it be?
The main challenge which we'll be facing is rough weather, and same time where there are no winds. In equator, there'll be days where you can't even move. So, and when we go down south, it'll get colder and colder, and the sea will be rough, and it'll be continuous more than 40 knots as we go down south.
So as you move onwards Australia, how it is going to be very, very difficult. So are you prepared for that, and what are going to be the difficulties?
We're looking at a phenomenon called cold fronts, which is very prevalent in that particular southern latitudes. So there you have rough seas with huge waves and like 30 to 40 knots of wind, which is very consistent. We have been following the weather for some time because before the voyage, it's starting tomorrow. So we've been following weather near Australia. We've already been looking at how is the weather and how is it changing. So we have quite an idea, and we have done some passage planning, which we will be following during this voyage.
Mind the geopolitical situation, what kind of emotions are going through your mind?
It's a mix of lot of emotions. It's a last moment where we have been waiting for this moment for a long time. Since 3 years we have been continuously practicing or training for this. So we are happy, we are excited.
So there you heard these 2 brave ladies in uniform from Navy. They are all prepared for the big day, and yes, we also wish them a very good luck and hope this voyage, which is going to be first of its kind as far as India is concerned, is successful. With cameraman Ramakant in Goa, this is Vishal Baristo for DD India.
And India's Ministry of Home Affairs will provide rupees 5,858.60 crore in aid to 14 flood-affected states. The allotted funds are the central share from the State Disaster Response Fund and as an advance from the National Disaster Response Fund. Interministerial Central Teams or IMCTs were deployed to the flood-affected states of Assam, Mizoram, Kerala, Tripura, Nagaland, Gujarat, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana and Manipur to conduct on-the-spot assessments of the damages. IMCTs will soon be sent to East Indian states of Bihar and West Bengal, where have also been recently affected by floods, for a similar on-the-spot assessment of damages. Earlier, more than Rupees 14,958 crore has been released to 21 states this year. And on to some business news now. Tens of thousands of dock workers have gone on strike indefinitely at ports across much of the U.S. The action marks the first such shutdown in almost 50 years. The labour contract between the International Longshoremen's Association, representing 45,000 port workers, and the United States Maritime Alliance Employer Group expired on September 30th as negotiations stalled due to disagreements over. The strike halted the flow of about half the country's ocean shipping after negotiations for a new labour contract broke down over wages. Analysts warned the strike will cost the economy billions of dollars a day, threaten jobs. The White House said that President Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris were monitoring the strike very closely. And India continued to assert its top position in the ongoing Cycle World Test Championship by fighting against the odds to complete a series sweep against Bangladesh. India continues to sit at the top with 8 wins in 11 matches with 98 points and a point percentage of 74.24%. Australia and Sri Lanka remain the closest competitors to challenging India's dominance at the top. The baggy greens continue to breathe down India's neck in the second spot with 90 points in 12 matches and a point percentage of 62.50%. And the Board of Control for Cricket in India, Secretary Jay Shah, announced that the board is set to offer an athlete monitoring system to all state associations. Jay Shah expressed his belief that players would derive benefits from the new system. Some of its salient features include customizable plug-and-play modules, dashboard view with integration of standardized health and fitness protocols. And now let's again take you to Rajghat, where President Draupadi Murmu, Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar are going to pay their floral tributes to the father of the nation, Mahatma Gandhi, on the occasion of 2nd October, Gandhi Jayanti. Up on your screens, you can watch Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar going to pay his homage to the father of the nation, Mahatma Gandhi, on the 155th birth anniversary. Second October, Gandhi Jayanti.
न कभी फरियाद करे सुकृत करणी करके तुम नाम अमर कर लो कुछ कर्म भले कर लो अरिहन्ते शरणं पवज्जामि सिद्धे शरणं पवज्जामि साहू शरणं पवज्जामि केवलीपणतं धम्मं शरणं पवज्जामि चार शरणे दुख हरणे और न शरणा कोई जो भव प्राणी करे आदरण उसका अजर अमर पद होय उसका अजर अमर पद होय ओम शांति 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 ओम.
Prayer from Judaism Leshana Toba Tikateu Adon Olam Asher Malak Beterem Kol Ezir Barab Leet Nahasab Keheb Sokol Azai Melek Shemonikra Ve Ahare Kiklot Hakol Lebado Imlo Kanora Vehu Hayab Vehu Hove Vehu Ihayeb Betif Arab Vehu Ekat Ve'en Sheni Leham Shilo Lehat Bira Beli Reshit Beli Taklit Velo Haoz Veha Misra Beli Erek Beli Dimyon Beli Shino Vehat Mura Beli Hibur Beli Perur Gedol Kowa Vehagbura Vehu Eli Vehai Goali Vesur Hebli Veyo Masara Vehu Nisi Umanosli Menako.
And now let's go over to Rajghat. President of India arrived at Rajghat, the final resting place of Mahatma Gandhi, to pay floral tributes to the father of the nation on his birth anniversary today. And now you can watch Prime Minister at Rajghat, who paid his tribute to the father of the nation, Mahatma Gandhi. Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar also paid his tribute to the father of the nation at Mahatma Gandhi. The 155th birth anniversary of the father of the nation. The day today is also celebrated as the International Day of Non-Violence. A Sarva Dharma Pratna Sabha has also been organized at Rajghat. Prime Minister Narendra Modi paid his tribute to the father of the nation, Mahatma Gandhi, at Rajghat today. And India today is paying homage to the father of the nation, Mahatma Gandhi, on his 155th birth anniversary today. A series of functions are being organized across the country and by Indian missions abroad. The day also observes as the International Day of Non-Violence worldwide. Designated by the United Nations in 2007, this day serves as a reminder of the immense power of non-violence and its potential to resolve conflicts, uphold justice, and create lasting peace. Mahatma Gandhi's philosophy, rooted in ahimsa or non-violence and satyagraha, that is truth force, continues to resonate in a world plagued by war and violence. All right, that's all for this edition of DD India Live, but let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on the DD India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS platforms. Scan the QR code on the screen to download now. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Lipakshi Khurana from all of us here in Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India News Hour.